This is Hockey Talk, where we talk everything hockey. I am John.
Mike.
All right, Mike, let's go. The first topic for tonight's discussion is, of course, the game on Saturday, this past Saturday, between Team Canada and Team USA. Now, Mike, a whole bunch of us watched that game at St. Louis Bar and Grill here in Moncton. And being a hockey fan as I am, all I really care for is that I watch a good game. It's exciting to watch. And I believe this game was a good game to watch. It was exciting. So I'm going to start there, Mike, and I want to get your take on the game. What did you think about it overall?
I was expecting it to be a little bit more high scoring than it was. I thought that we would see some more goals, which we didn't. It was fairly low scoring considering. So overall, though, I think maybe the teams were playing a little bit not hesitant, but not wanting to give up any high end chances. So I think maybe that's why it was a little low scoring. Maybe the teams just played a little bit tighter than what I was expecting it to be.
Well, I thought that Bennington looked like he was fighting the puck most of the night. He was
Yeah.
flopping around on it, and it was bouncing around and moving sometimes on him. He seemed to be out of position, I thought, a few times. Made a couple of saves, and to me, the team just looked tight overall.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
mean,
said,
the first goal he let in was not a good one, and had he not let that in, maybe it would have been a different game. Tough to say, but it was a weak one, and I don't know if maybe the team tightened up because of that, or they were just both teams kind of played that way to a certain degree. I mean, the states had a little bit more offense going than Canada
mm-hmm,
did. However, um, Canada couldn't really do much against Hellebuck, so Hellebuck played really well.
right. And even though we're talking about Bennington, or I'm talking about him, I mean, when your team only scores one goal, you're not winning too many games.
No, no, absolutely. So I mean, the states did a very good job. They played the style that worked, and like I said, I thought it would be a little more high scoring, but maybe that's the game plan they had was to play a little bit tighter so that they didn't get in a shootout basically with Canada because Canada's offense is probably the best offense in the tournament when it's on point. So
Right, right. And Canada did not score on the power play, and they had a few chances, couldn't do it.
yeah, and I mean with that, not having Cal McCarr in the lineup definitely hurt the power plays. So having that threat from the point not in the lineup. And one of the goals the state scored was on a bad line change by the guy that replaced
Right, yes.
Thomas Harley. Kind of made a bad change there and ended up costing them on that 2-on-1.
Okay, so I want to address the elephant in the room here, Mike, and that is the booing by the fans in Montreal of the U.S. national anthem. I kind of thought this could happen, and sadly, it did happen. I wish that it would not have happened. To me, this is a hockey game, and anthems being booed isn't. It just shouldn't happen. But when you paid a minimum, and I looked it up, of $215, that's the minimum for a seat, and you want to boo for whatever reason, you should be allowed to boo. And I guess three fights broke out in the first 8 or 9 seconds. And, there's some other YouTubers out there I've watched. And one of them I watch all the time, Behind the Line is the name of the channel, Mike. And he had a take on this, and he thought that the fights were kind of pre planned, that they knew beforehand that this was going to happen. I think that he's totally wrong. I don't think it was pre planned at all. The fans were booing the anthem, and I think the players got a little bit upset and decided to drop the gloves. But in the NHL, in order to drop the gloves, the other player has to say, yes, I'm going to drop them at the same time, or else people are getting instigator penalties. So, I mean, everybody was in agreement. So, what do you think about this, Mike, this whole thing?
Well, I mean, as you said with the booing of the anthem, I wasn't surprised that it happened. I mean, you know, uh, from the political standpoint lately, it's been a little controversial between, Donald Trump and what he's been saying about Canada, making Canada the 51st state. I mean, that type of,
Right.
there's no need of that. So I'm not surprised that the Montreal fans booed the anthem. I mean, I agree, shouldn't be happening at a hockey game. However, I think it's their way of making a statement, basically, that they didn't appreciate his comments, which no Canadian should, I don't believe. Um, but as far as the game goes, like the fights, I don't think those were pre-staged.
No.
It was extremely surprising, wasn't expected. I mean, um, but as soon as the first one happened, uh, it's not like I thought the second one was going to happen, but with the Brady Tkachuk still on the ice, and I mean he was getting right riled up there during the fight with Matthew Tkachuk and Hagel. So um, I think he probably at that point when he lined up for the face-off, I can't remember who he even was fighting against, but I'm pretty sure he probably said, "Okay, you want to go?" And then there you go.
Right.
And then the third one, same thing. So yeah, it was definitely a surprising start to the game, and everybody loved it. I mean, every place was going nuts there when we were watching the game. So um, never did I think I would see that, but like we were joking around, if someone had to put money down in Vegas that three fights were going to happen in the first 3 seconds of the game, be a very rich person right now.
Oh
But
yes, absolutely. And
yes,
on the behind the line channel, he was also saying that not only did he think that maybe it was already kind of pre-planned, which you and I, neither one of us believe that it was. I mean, I'm pretty sure that that was as organic as you're going to get.
yeah,
But he was saying that the reason why the fans were booing was because of the tariffs, the potential tariffs. And I don't believe that that's it at all. I believe that that has some to do with it, but it's because of Donald Trump saying he's going to make Canada the 51st state. That's really why. And you're going to say that in Montreal, and Montreal people, Montreal fans are not going to be impressed with that at all. And that's what it boils down to. That's really what it is.
yeah. I don't like you said. I mean, the tariffs might have played a small part in that, but I think it's more his comments that he's going to make Canada the 51st state and this sort of thing. And yeah, that's you know they're going to like if we did that we were going to make the states one of our provinces. I mean, they'd be going bananas there too. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. But like I said, I would never boo a national anthem. But if other people do it when they spend that kind of money, I can't say, oh, that's illegal or you can't do that. I mean, you spend that kind of money, you want to do that's how you want to protest, go ahead, right? That's the
yeah,
way it goes. And I will say that I still like the videos for behind the line. And even that video that he did, I hit like. So I'm going to put a link to his channel in the notes because I like his channel so much. Okay, so let's drop that and let's go on to the second topic, Mike. Now, Team Canada, Team Finland. Now, it was a pretty interesting game. Now, Canada had a 4-0 lead in the third period, Mike, with about 6 minutes and change left. The Finns scored 3 goals in a row to make it 4-3. Everyone started to clutch their chairs and their drinks maybe a little bit closer. Then Crosby, of all people, he collides with one of the Finnish players, basically at center ice. I don't know if he meant to hit him on purpose but they both fell down. Crosby gets up right away, takes the puck, shoots it in the open net. Game over. They win 5-3. Mike, how did Team Canada look, and how did Team Finland look in that game? What do you think?
well, Canada looked great off the get-go. I mean, they like you said, up 4-0. So I don't know if they started to kind of take it easy after that, and then the Finns kind of picked it up to get back in the game. Um, but yeah, I was surprised that the game was as close as it was, especially considering Canada had that 4-0 lead. I didn't think that it was going to be a close game at all. But you know, if you shoot and create some traffic and get some rebounds on Binnington, I mean, like I said, he wouldn't have been my first choice as a goalie for this tournament. It would have been Aiden Hill. However, it's the guy they went with, so at this point you can't change now. Um, so it definitely got a little closer than what we were hoping for, but we'll see what happens now in the next game, which I fully expect Bennington to be the starter again. So
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be the starter now. I just
yeah,
like you. I know he did win the Stanley Cup in 2019 in Boston, I believe. The final game was in Boston, I think, when he won it.
yeah.
But you know, that's 6 years ago now, right? But anyway, let's go on to the third topic now. This is Team Sweden and the Team USA game. This was not what I was expecting at all, Mike. Kreider scored the 35-second mark into the game. Team USA was off and running. I thought, here we go again. Team Sweden, 2 goals in the first period as well, one with 55 seconds left in that first period. And that was all the scoring right there. It was all in the first period. And Team USA had 33 shots and Sweden had 23 shots. Both teams were 0 for 3 on the power play. But I thought Sweden's goaltending was really good, Mike. How did Team USA lose this game? Because I really wasn't expecting them to lose this game. I know now that they have some injuries too. What do you think, though?
Well, I think that the injuries played a part. Um, Matt Tkachuk didn't play. Brady Tkachuk ended up leaving the game as well
Yep.
because he had got hurt. So I think somebody else left the game too, but I can't recall right offhand. Um, you know, they. I think because the game was basically meaningless to them. Uh, I just don't know if they were. I'm not saying they weren't trying to win, but I think they were more trying to avoid having guys getting hurt and that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, Brady Tkachuk got hurt, but I assume he'll be playing in the game against Canada. Um,
Well, they
you
say
know,
he's going to be playing.
right. So, I expect all these guys to be back in the lineup except for McAvoy, obviously.
Right.
However, I'd like to say I'm not surprised by the game, only because the it was basically a meaningless game when it comes to the standings, just because of the way they have the format. So, um, if the game had actually meant something, who knows? It might have been a much better game than what it was. Maybe a little more high scoring, but like you said, the Sweden played very well. Allmark had a good game, so um, now it's Canada versus the U.S. in the final.
All right. And that's the fourth topic, of course, and that sets up for Team Canada versus USA again in the final. Now, this game is in Boston tomorrow night, Thursday. How do you think this is going to play out, Mike? Now, I know you said you believe Team USA is going to win. Do you think the teams may be a little less aggressive for this final and maybe trying to score a little more? Or do you think Team USA has found the scheme to get this done and do exactly what they did last time?
I think the game is still going to be aggressive. It's going to come down to how aggressive it is going to depend on what the score turns out to be. If it's a close game, I expect it to be a pretty physical game. If one team takes a big lead, you're probably not going to see as much physical play, depending on what the score is. Like I said, so the closer the game, the more physical it's going to be. If it turns out to a blowout, then obviously you're not going to see as much physicality, I don't think. Looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a great game. Hopefully, Canada can win this, but it's scoring goals on Connor Hellebuck has been a difficult task all year for every NHL team. So we'll have to see. Power plays could come into account and make a difference in this game. So we'll have to see what happens.
Right. I mean, it took the best player on the team, McDavid, to score on sorry, not on Bennington, but on Hellebuck, and he's the only one to do it. So there you go. Not easy to do. So, and I know I already said this about Bennington. Looks like he's fighting the puck, and but you're right. He's the one he's going to start the game. Do you think he'll have a short leash? If he let in a couple of goals early, do you think they would just pull him?
I think they have to, depending on what the goals look like. I mean, if they're ones that he has absolutely no chance on, maybe not. But if he were to give up three in the first, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, I think there's a chance that he would get pulled, especially if the game isn't close. I mean, if it's tied, they'd probably keep it as is. But, if he gave up a few quick ones in the first period, I think that they'd have no choice. They'd have to pull him, they'd have to make a change.
And the power play, do you think that Canada can win this game without scoring on the power play?
Nah, oh, it's tough to say. I mean, the power play is huge for Canada. Like, I mean, they've been, every time they had a power play, they've been pretty deadly for the most part throughout this whole tournament so far. It's tough to say. Expect it to be a close game. So, um, I think if they get some power play goals, I mean, it definitely helps them. Because 5-on-5 against Hellebuck isn't an easy task to score on them. So they kind of need the power play.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, that's just kind of what I have here, and I agree with you. It's going to be tough because Hellebuck is one heck of a goaltender. He's probably the best goaltender in the tournament. He might be the best goaltender in the league.
This year, I would say he probably is. Yeah,
So when you have that and you put him against Bennington, who's not a bad goalie, but
it's
it's
a
like
it's you're putting a goalie that's going to get you know 45 to 50 wins this year. Now, he's already got 34, so
right,
he's probably going to get between 45 and 50 to a goalie. And I get the quality of the NHL team they're on is obviously different, but um, Bennington on his best years, he's been a 30 to 35 win goalie. So
right,
huge difference when it comes to that. So, and you look at save percentage as well. Like, Hellebuck has one of the better save percentages in the league, and Bennington's average. So, Canada's really going to have to limit the high danger chances that they give up, because if they give up too many, might not be it might be a little
might be a
ugly.
lights out.
Could be. So let's hope. Go
All
Canada.
right, okay. Well, was there anything else you wanted to say about that part of the show, Mike, about the game that's going to happen, or anything else? And then we'll get
Well,
into
no,
the hockey profit segment.
some of us are going to get together for it there tomorrow night, and looking forward to it. It's always good to watch the game with a bunch of the guys there. So um, yeah, it's I'm hoping that if we can get through the first period in good shape, it bodes well for us. But if we give up a few quick ones, it's gonna be tough.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go on to the hockey profit segment, Mike, where you are the hockey prophet. At least that's what I say. Maybe some people out there disagree, but that's what I say. All right. So, Mike, are you ready for the hockey profit segment quick fire questions?
Yeah.
All right. Number one, Connor McDavid has scored the first goal in the first period 2 games in a row. Will he score the first in the final game against the U.S.?
No, it'll be somebody else.
Okay, number two, you thought Sidney Crosby could get 8 points by the end of the tournament. He has 5 so far. Will he get 3 more on Thursday night?
Probably not at this point. No.
No, okay. Number three, hot or not, Jordan Bennington. He has two
Uh,
wins.
yeah, but I'm gonna say not.
Okay, number four, is there going to be at least one fight in Thursday night's game?
Jeez, that's a tough one. I would have said no chance a few nights ago, but after that, I wouldn't be surprised if there was one. So I'll say yes. And let's hope there is, because they were all great.
I think there's going to be some fights tomorrow night. We'll see. Number five, Sanheim, your favorite Sanheim, had a nice assist against Finland the other night. Will he duplicate that on Thursday?
I doubt it. I expect them to play a more defensive role against the States than getting many offensive chances. So if he gets a secondary assist, I'd probably be the only way. But
I mean, he jumped right up into the play, so it was quite nice there.
yeah, yeah, I agree. But he's not really known for that, so I'll err on the side of caution and say he will not.
Okay, well, Mike, finally, number six, the last question. Will Team Canada win this final game against Team USA?
I'd
I'm
l-
going to put you on the
I
spot.
I hope they do, but I don't think that the U.S. is going to lose. So unfortunately. I think they had the better team right off the get go, and it, like I said, all comes down to goaltending. If Canada had Hill starting the whole way through, you know what? Maybe I would say Canada has a chance to win this thing, and I'm not saying they don't. I'd love to see them win, um, but they're going to have to somehow find a way to get some past Hellebuck and early in the game.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike, that was 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Pretty good. And hopefully I'll be over tomorrow and watching the game. And even though I was putting down the channel behind the line a little bit, it's all in good fun. He has a great channel. I just think he's wrong about a couple little things, and we could be wrong too, right? So I mean, who knows? But like I said, I am going to put his channel in the link because why not? So, Mike, was there anything else you wanted to go over? Or is that pretty much it for tonight?
Well, for the most part, pretty much it. I just wanted to let you know, and I don't know if you've heard, but Evgeny Malkin has said that he's going to retire as a Pittsburgh Penguin. So
Yes, I did hear. Yes, yep,
yeah, so that'll put any trade speculation with him on the shelf. And I think probably when his current contract is up, that's probably going to be it for him. Who knows? Maybe he'll go back to Russia and play another year or two, like some of these Russian players do. So
yeah, he certainly could.
yeah. So, but yeah, that news came up there today. So, and Charlie McAvoy's going to be out a little while there too. He
Right.
ended up hurting his shoulder and then getting an infection in his shoulder, so he's still in the hospital. Um, but yeah, that's about it.
All right, folks. Well, like, share, and subscribe, and let us know where we went wrong because I'm sure we went wrong somewheres. And let us know in the show notes where we did go wrong, and we will see you next week. Later.
Later.